mean to disrespect, but all of you rule my world. I even dream of you, I swear. Visions of you and I.
Hello, my name is Miscarriage, and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't, be sure to follow me on all my social media, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my Facebook, and also my Twitter. That will be linked down below in the description box, so be sure to follow me on all of those. Okay, so today will be a story time, and I will be talking about the worst day of my life, and that was on April 19th of 2019. Okay, so I found out I was pregnant and everything, and you know, everything was perfect because I was so excited. I was so excited. Me and my boyfriend, which is now my fiance, and we were so excited. It was our first child and everything. So we found out we were having a boy like maybe 2 weeks beforehand. And so we were just too excited. I think that same weekend that I found out it was a boy, me, my mom, we instantly started shopping. Like, we were just so excited because my sister was having a girl. So my mom was having a boy and a girl, and it was just kind of like the best of both worlds, right? So a week later, I think it was like Friday, I had a doctor's appointment, and I had told my doctor, I had some pooling, you know, and he was just like, you know, it was normal because, you know, it's just my uterus stretching basically. Gave me information on that and gave me some, a scenario to make me understand it more. So I was like, okay. The next day came actually, and I was still feeling these pain. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it wasn't like, so Friday it was mild pain. It was just small amounts, and it was just like, it wasn't even like a set time or how many times I was having it. But on Saturday night, I say it started at 7 p.m. That's when the pains got like, oh, it was hurting so bad. And I think I had tried to get up and walk. I think I maybe went to the restroom or something, and I could not walk. I couldn't even walk because I was in so much pain. And then it'll go away, and then 2 minutes later it'll start again. So I didn't know at that time, but I was in preterm labor. I was going into labor at that time, and I just did not know. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. It was, at this point, it was like 12 o'clock at night, and I'm tossing and turning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot sleep. What is going on? And it didn't register to me that they were labor pains, but I was just thinking of the doctor. I was like, okay, yesterday he just said that this was normal, but golly, it doesn't hurt. Like, I didn't know it was gonna hurt this bad. So I think at this point it's like maybe 12:30. So I was like, maybe I'm hungry. So I went to Wendy's, and I was in the line. I was like, oh my gosh, it hurt. It started again. I was like, what if I'm in labor? Like, that was at the back of my head. I was like, what if I'm in labor and I need to go to the doctor? But then again, I was just like, no, I'm okay, you know. I just didn't think about it. Me being a nurse, I didn't catch it that I was in labor. So I just, you know, got my food, ate, and laid back down, and still could not go to sleep. So at this point, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I go in my mama's room. I was like, Mama, I'm in so much pain. I was crying at this point. I was like, Mama, I'm in so much pain. Like, you got some medicine, some ibuprofen or something? Because I think that's something you can take while, it's either that or Tylenol. Something you can take while you're pregnant. And I was like, Mom, just give me some medicine. Like, I'm just crying at this point. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I have to use the restroom. So I went to the bathroom, and my water broke. And I just started screaming. I was like, Mama, something not right. And my water had broke. So it was like blood everywhere. So my mom was screaming, panicking. She was like, put on some clothes, we're gonna go to the hospital. And I was 20 weeks. Yeah, I was 20 weeks at this point. So we went to the hospital. It had just finished storming. I remember it was a bad storm that night. and it was wet roads, and my mom was like literally flying to the hospital, and we stayed maybe 15 minutes away from this hospital, and I thought we was gonna wreck because that's how fast we was going. It was no cars on the road, but you know, we was like, you know, running the red lights, running stop signs, we just trying to get to the hospital because, you know, we were scared. It's something we never experienced before. So I get to the hospital and I get out the car and I walk to the emergency room, and it just felt like blood just went everywhere, all over, and I was just like, you know, help me, help me. I was panicking because I mean, I didn't want to lose my baby. I was just nervous. So they was like, calm down. I was like, I think I'm having a miscarriage, you know, help me, help me. So they were like, and it didn't hit me at that time because I was just worried about my baby, but I remember one of the ER nurses saying, it's normal, it's gonna have to pass or something. And now that I think about that, I want to sue the double hockey stick out of them. Like, they could, like, you know, they didn't even, I feel like they didn't even take me serious. So they got me a wheelchair or whatever, you know, put the little blue pad in there. They checked my vital sign, my heart rate was through the roof. Maybe it was like 150, and my blood pressure was through the roof, and I knew I was about to fall out. I was on the phone with my boyfriend the whole time. I'm like, babe, you know, I'm just nervous, and he was just kept talking to me, telling me calm down. He was in Texas at this time, so he wasn't with me. So my mom, she was there. She was like panicking. She was like telling me to calm down, but I could not calm down. I knew I was just about to fall out. I felt it because I was hyperventilating, and I thought I was about to pass out. Honestly, I did feel faint a little bit. So what makes it the worst day is that I didn't even get treated. Like, my baby didn't even get treated like a person, if you know what I'm saying. They, after I feel like I was fainting, they kind of calmed me down or whatever. They took me to an office to get my social security number and everything. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, are you serious? I'm sitting here having these pains and screaming and everything. You want to ask me, you know, about my social security number and all, trying to get, you know, admit me. And I'm like, no. So finally, I'm like, dude, somebody got a Doppler. Do somebody got a Doppler? Like, you know, this is a hospital I work at. Why aren't they, you know, I don't understand. So I was like, dude, somebody got a Doppler. It took me an hour to get a Doppler. Somebody to actually do, hear my baby heartbeat. And she still lied, because I asked her, I was like, do you hear anything or whatever? And I know I didn't hear anything. It was probably like a little. And she was like 200. And she was like, I think that's normal. And in my head, I'm like, no, that's not normal. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe his heart rate is racing because mine is racing. So I try to calm down. And I was just so mad because I said, after they did the Doppler, they put me, you know, where everybody else was, like the whole ER. So I'm still, at this time, like through all of this, I'm still having those labor pains. I'm every 2 seconds, I'm just in pain. They put me in the emergency room where everybody else was, and everybody is looking at me. I'm bloody. I'm humiliated at this point. I am humiliated, like beyond. So I'm just sitting here screaming. And those who have a baby know that pain that you feel when you're having those contractions. They feel like period cramps times 1,000, like definitely. And I'm sitting here in a wheelchair holding my baby, like literally. Every time I have a contraction, I'm squeezing my body so I don't release my baby. So I'm just saying, like, oh my gosh. And I'm screaming. I'm like, what is going on? And I was not thinking at this. When you're going through something like that, you don't fully be aware of what's going on. I should have rolled myself up to labor and delivery floor, but it was not what came to my mind. I'm disappointed in myself because I didn't think of that, but you know, things happen for a reason. So eventually, maybe an hour and a half, was sitting in the ER, getting embarrassed, everybody looking at me, holler, blood all over me. I get sent back to the back of the ER. Then again, it takes another 30 minutes. They start me an IV, give me some morphine, and you know, at this point, I just came to the realization, like, you know, my baby is about to pass. So they started me an IV, gave me some pain medicine, and I finally got the doctor that was at the ER. He finally came and he just kind of like looked or whatever, and then he was like, you know, we're gonna do an ultrasound. So I was like, you know, how long would that be? And this man said to me, I'm not sure. I have a lot of other patients, you know, I'm trying to get to also. So instantly I just felt neglected, and it just made me even more madder. So I couldn't walk or nothing at this point. I was just like down. They came and got me and took me to the ultrasound room in the ER, and she did an ultrasound, and I was like, you know, what's going on? She was like, I can't tell you because the results are for, you know, the doctor to tell you basically. And I was like, okay. So I'm still the whole time just crying, because I'm just coming to the realization. And she seen how upset I was, and she was like, okay, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but and she held my hand, and she was, so she held my hand, and she was like, basically, she was like, the baby doesn't have any amniotic fluid around him, and his heart rate is in the 40s. So, you know, basically, she was just telling me that he won't make it. So I was at this, I cried just a little bit more, and I went silent. And I was just staring, you know, I had just like a blank stare because I was so hurt. And I felt, so I was so hurt, and I think they took me back to the room where my mom was, and my sister and her boyfriend. And, you know, my mom was, you know, your mom would be hurt. Your mom would be hurt. So I had to, you know, suck it up, because I don't want to see my mom hurt. So I just kind of sucked it up, and I didn't say anything. I was just silent the whole way. I couldn't say nothing. I couldn't believe it, honestly. They rolled me back in there. My mom was like, what's going on? She was anxious. She was on the phone with my dad. Like, what's up? So I didn't say it. I was just like, you know, he gone. I said it real silent or whatever. And they came in there, gave me some more morphine. And they thought I was, you know, sleepy. But honestly, I went into depression at that moment. I had actually went into depression. They thought I was on medication, but the medication really didn't do anything for me. So, oh my gosh. When I tell this story, it's like I relive it over and over again, because I go through everything, I analyze everything, and I try to figure out what I could have done different. But anyway, the morphine, you know, I got the morphine, and my mom, you know, she started crying instantly. I didn't cry anymore because at that point I just kind of accepted it. I called my boyfriend. It was at this point, I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe. Yeah, about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I went in at 2. So I called my boyfriend, and he was like, I was still having these contractions also during this whole time, and he was like, I told him, I was like, he gone or whatever. So he instantly got up and came all the way from Texas. So yeah, I went into that depression. I didn't say anything for a long time, and finally, about 30 minutes later, after, you know, they basically told us that he wasn't gonna make it, I think I got transferred. Yeah, I got transferred to the labor and delivery floor because I had to have the baby at this point. I had to have him. So I got transferred up there. It's maybe 7 o'clock. So up there, and they put this little strap around my belly that, you know, basically count, you know, do the contractions or whatever, and it shows the contractions on the screen. I don't know. I'm not a labor and delivery nurse, so I don't know what it's called. I forgot. So, up here I was just crying. Oh my, y'all, contractions hurt. Having a baby hurts. It hurts. Like, it's not even having a baby. It's a contraction that hurts the worst. Like, it's like a push and feel against you. Like, ooh, it's hard. It hurts. It hurts so bad. And with that last contraction, I couldn't take it no more. I was like, I literally thought I was about to die. I knew I was about to die. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, get the doctor in here. Please get this baby out of me. Please. Like, I could not take no more. And my doctor came in there, and he worked with my, primary doctor. He was, he basically delivered the baby. I think he was delivered maybe at 8:09, maybe 8 something. So I had a baby, and I was just instantly, oh, give me my baby. I'm giving him up until maybe 3 o'clock, because I could not let him go. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him up. And like, my arms would literally not even stretch out to get the baby, like give them the baby. Like, I could not physically stretch my arms out to give them my baby. I just cried and cried over him because I was just so upset. On some clothes and everything, and they got him some little footprints, and these are his feet prints. I think he was 10 ounces. He looked just like him. So, my mom, she was upset. So I try not to cry around her because my mom is a big baby. She is really a big baby. So I didn't cry around her, honestly. I never did after that, like after all that, because I feel like I put her through a lot anyway. So you have to be strong. So I didn't, cry around her after that, honestly, about the baby or nothing like that, because she was also hurt. So when I had to get the baby up, like, at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock, finally I had to give him up, because I can't keep him that long. He's human, so I could not keep him. So I gave him to my mom, and she was like, I just go take him in. She got to the door, opened the door, and could not walk out. She couldn't walk out with him. So I got moved to another room and everything like that. I had visitors, and I stayed overnight. Basically, they did some lab draws, made sure I didn't lose too much blood. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. See you next time.